All right, guys. So we have breaking news from really the NBA, but for the Miami Heat specifically. Tonight, this was going to be a reveal of which teams is going to play who in the NBA in-season tournament thing. I understand that a lot of people don't necessarily enjoy it as much, but personally, for me, I feel like it's a little bit different. You could take my opinion of what you will, but I still think it's pretty cool. It's a long season. Why not add some kind of excitement during the season, if you know what I mean? But again, you could take my opinion for what you will. But they were drawing groups. They were drawing who was going to be the opponent for each. So we're going to go over them. We're going to go over all of them, and then we're going to talk about the Miami Heat. So for the West, you got the West A, B, and C. You got the Wolves. West A now. We're gonna go with the West A first. Minnesota Timberwolves is there first. Los Angeles Clippers. It looks like it has a boat. I like that. I actually like that logo. Sacramento Kings, Houston Rockets, and the Portland Trail Blazers. That's Group A in the West. Group B, Oklahoma City Thunder, Phoenix Suns, Los Angeles Lakers, Utah Jazz, and San Antonio Spurs. Then you got Group C from the West. You got Denver Nuggets, Dallas Mavericks, New Orleans Pelicans, Golden State Warriors, and Memphis Grizzlies. That could groups B and C. They could be what we like to call a soccer group of deaths for the West. So that's just one big company in the Group B and C in the Western side. For the East. Now we can talk about the East, and we can thoroughly go over the Miami Heat. Excuse me. So for Group A for the East, you got the New York Knicks, Brooklyn Nets, Orlando Magic, Charlotte Hornets, and Philadelphia 76ers. I feel bad for Charlotte. That group looked really tough for Charlotte to comprehend. You got the Knicks, who are just damn good, and Jalen Brunson, I think today re-signed for 4 years. 4-year extension with the Knicks, and the reason they got Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets off the trade. So Nets possibly looking for a rebuild. I'm not quite sure. I don't follow them, but that's whatever happened. Magic, a great team. Philadelphia just got loaded. On paper, they should look good, but we'll see what happens. For the Group B, this is what we're going to like to talk about. Milwaukee Bucks, Indiana Pacers, our Miami Heat, Toronto Raptors, and Detroit Pistons. I don't consider this the group of death for the East. If anything, it might be Group A. It might be Group A that might be the group of death for the East. But for East B, that's the group right there. And then you got Group C for the East: Boston Celtics, Atlanta Hawks, Cleveland Cavaliers, Washington Wizards, and the Chicago Bulls. So that is all 30 teams in each group, 5 in total. Now for the Heat, now we can talk thoroughly about this for a couple of minutes. They have 2 in each. That's what each team too have. They have 2 road games and 2 home games. They got the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis and Damian Lillard again. Then they add things up, spiciness. They got the Indiana Pacers with Halliburton. They're coming off of Eastern Conference Finals, got swept, but they made it that far. The 2 opponents that we could beat are the Toronto Raptors and Detroit Pistons. Now, every season is different and every game is entirely different. But on paper, you should be able to beat those 2 teams, especially with Toronto at this point. But Detroit did okay, pretty good in the offseason. So it might be a little bit different for Detroit. I think they're going to be more of a competitive team this season. I hope for their case. I really hope so, because that was one miserable season for the Detroit Pistons. But the Miami Heat, they should be able to beat them. But then again, the defense might be lackluster. So I have no idea. Then they got the Raptors. Like I said, they should be able to beat them. Milwaukee and Indiana might be tougher opponents. They are going to be incredibly hard to play against. And if they're going to go to Las Vegas in December, they have to beat one of them. They got to beat one of them and then, get a breathing room in the East to seemingly get their way into Vegas. The tournament, the tournament begins on November 12th. November 12th. Now, last season they play on a Tuesday and a Friday. Same case. They're going to start on November 12th. That is on a Tuesday. And from this point forward, they play each Friday, each Tuesday, if the Heat is scheduled in. And then from that point forward, they would go on and play in Vegas. I'm trying to figure out when that would be the Vegas type of game. I know it said it somewhere. But either way, you get what I'm trying to say. They're going to play in December there it is. I found it. I got it. Group play is November 12th. That's a Tuesday. It runs through all the way to December 3rd. Quarterfinals, if, we call it the knockouts and something like that, that's all changed up. That begins the week later with December 10th and the 11th. The semifinals and the finals. Semifinals on December 14th, and the championship plays on December 17th. And it has a star in it. And when that means stars, that's played in Las Vegas. So that is what is going to be the case on the NBA in-season tournament. I think the championship game in the in-season tournament does not count towards the regular season. For what I understand, the quarterfinal and the semifinal, that's 2 games. Those count towards the regular season record. The only game that does not is the championship. I believe that's the case. I think so. If that's and what that means is that this is what happened to us last season. If we don't make it to the NBA in-season playoffs, the NBA is going to add 2 more games in the regular season from all the teams that got eliminated in the in-season tournament. So that's what happened there. But what about those who lost in the quarterfinals? Would that be the case too? Are they going to battle for the bronze? It didn't say. But I don't know. I'm still just as confused as most people in the NBA. I have no clue. I have to speculate based on what I saw with the Miami Heat being knocked down in the group play. But yeah, we're going to talk more about this when the in-season tournament does roll around. We'll talk about that in the preview when that time comes. But yeah, that's the breaking news. That's Group B that we're in. Group B with Milwaukee, Indiana, Toronto, and Detroit. That's your breaking news video for tonight. Tomorrow, I'll see you guys tomorrow for a recap game for Summer League. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for content, because Miami TV guys are back. And when it does, hit it right there with the entertainment you deserve. This is Miami TV sign out, folks. Good night, everybody.